What is up? What is up, folks? Hello, I'm good. How are you? How are you? How are you? 6 people here. Oh, a little early because why not? Anyone else here? Any new people? Any new people? What? No, there's 7 people here. Oh, but we still wait. Oh my God. Oh, my body is feeling my workout from yesterday. It's kind of sore-ish. Sore-ish, sore. Oh. Hi, Penny. Could you talk about earthquake? Sure, Penny. What do you want to know? Anything. Hmm. Well, I guess it was pretty bad, right? Hmm. I read, do you know anyone who is like lost in the earthquake, or what is the atmosphere like there now? And more importantly, how do you feel, Penny? Based on how you answer, so why? Which theory should you believe? Hmm. I mean, it's not a punishment, right? So if anyone's saying that, it's not. I'm okay. I'm just trying to figure out, trying to answer Penny's question. And it's not a punishment. I know that in some Buddhist countries, well, in America too, with Christianity, they think of maybe earthquakes as some divine punishment, but they're really not, right? We move from 3D. No, no, no. Um, how many people died during the quake? Sorry. Thanks, you. Good. I'm glad. Hmm. So I could give you, hmm, I would say that I can't say that there's not any meaning when there's a quake, right? But I think it's a reminder for people that the land itself is alive and aware, and it's deeply connected to spirituality, right? And when it breaks, it could mean that something buried is coming to the surface. I'm not saying that the kami or any other spirit are doing this sort of thing to punish people. Instead, um, it's a response to maybe imbalances. Um, so just like how we, like our breath, just like how like our breath responds to imbalance or grief or tension, or the land also responds to what is held and what must be released, right? So the earth is releasing too. Um, so they're not, earthquakes aren't in anger, they're sort of reminders. Um, they break, tension that can no longer be held, right? So as far as like our relations to those things for healing, um, like healing doesn't start with rebuilding like walls or buildings, but more like recognizing what's inside of us, recognizing what was inside of us that was shaken loose. Because like after shaking, spiritual cords that bind us to places, people, and um, like moments. I hope this is making sense. Are genuine, are gently released. It's almost like a time for purification, not to undo what happened, but to um, realign ourselves. So, I mean, so we don't really want to ask why did this happen or what is the answer, what you're saying, what to believe, or what is the land showing us actually. Um, oh, yeah, we ask what is the land showing us, right? And the answer is rarely loud. It's found in like, um, kind of like self reflection and almost letting go of um, the catastrophe. Uh, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but but at the end of the day, it's um, is like if you were to move forward, um, it's not like to forget that it happened. It's to walk it differently after, right? Appreciate what you kind of have, and be more aware. And yeah, I guess that's it. I don't have a question because there's not necessarily a calibrating yet. It's not necessarily a divine retribution or punishment, right? But I think it represents imbalances within the earth, a cleansing. Yep, yep. It does make sense. Good. So the earth itself too is, you know, releases tension this way. And like I said, it's not to punish anyone. It's just that it has to be done to move, forward, right? Or so the earth can purify itself because it takes on a lot, and we need to take care. We need to take better care of it too, right? So the reports more than 1,600 casualties. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, and you never want to hear that, right? So, I want to say like for this, like grief over something, right? It's not an impurity. Um, it's okay. Um, but what is a impurity is stagnation. Um, and when we hold on too long to something that's already passed, um, into like the realm of the unseen, we kind of create knots in the energetic weave of our own lives. And, so the role of like this coming here and purification, it's not really to erase memory, but to, untie those knots so that flow can return. Does that make sense, guys? It's part of that this practice. And yeah, yeah, I haven't seen that. I wish I could have prepared a better answer for you, but yeah, the best I could say is like we do the best we can, and you can only kind of live life going forward. And there are a lot of stories of folks that can't let go of the past. It's the same thing. Um, so let me say this. So when a person passes away or a chapter of life ends, the resonance of that presence doesn't vanish, it shifts. And we who are still alive must adjust our inner world to match that shift. So, yeah, moving with the changes. I hope that helps. I'm sorry that happened. It must have been quite frightening. What's that, Loretta? What I said? Yeah, basically. And that goes with anyone's passing, right? They're just transitioning, and we have to transition with it. The universe. I mean, sure. We started 15 minutes, guys. And however you look at it, right, it's the earth releasing friction, even from like a physical sense, a geological sense, or a spiritual sense. It doesn't really matter which one. Yes, of course, some of them, a lot of people do not, and that's unfortunate. They think of it as all kinds of different things, but life really does go on. Mhm. Because because there's a lot of terrible things populating it. And from a shamanic practice, it's like earthbound spirits aren't that tough. It's the stuff from other places in the universe that's a constant pain, doing all kinds of weird stuff. If the universe was better, it would just make it all vanish. That's how I look at it, but it won't. And that's awful. Yeah, but there's order, but there's a lot of chaos and a lot of things rampant. So I mean, I don't want to take away everyone's hope, but yeah, I'm just not sure how balanced it is. Right. Thank you. Like 4 or 5 times when I've done my invocation to Aries or Mars, and I say, actually, quite learned quite a bit from it when I say, um, what's the verse? It's my um, something about who makes us strongest city walls from their foundations shake. Like 3 or 4 times the ground actually shook when I did that. So, I mean, absolutely. For me, that was a reminder that it definitely does have some of that to it. spirit. Like after like the third time that happened, it's like, no, that's not a coincidence. First time really startled me. Second time, it's like, huh. But then it's like three or four. It's like pretty crazy. It is, yep, it is not in balance at the moment. Correct. I hope we can get it back there. 27 people here. Any new people who've never been here? Oh no, there are no coincidences. Hey, Penny, any um, can you bring, are there any more Thai people you could bring to the group? Feel free to. I lived in Thailand for maybe 8, 9 months. I like it. I mean, I think Thai people would really like this a lot. I wasn't doing this when I was before. So yeah. Really, you start in like 8 minutes, guys? I'm just going over my book chapters. I'm just outlining them, right? Would you like to hear some of it? Yes, I mean, that's a problem, right? Yeah, bring them. I'm trying to, community. Because I know in Thailand, there's a lot of people doing weird magical practices. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of that there. And at the same time, there's a lot of judgment, right? Exactly. I mean, yeah, bring them here. People would be amazed how many people keep that stuff, what they can do secret. That could do a lot. I think only reason why I do this is because people can actually feel it. If it was like really subtle, I would not do it, right? No, it doesn't quite work that way, unfortunately, Kimmy. You can do as much awful stuff as you want. What will happen is you'll observe impurity and eventually do something, but I wouldn't call that karma. I think people don't understand karma as much. I would say impurity has more than an impact than karmic conditions. It's just not really thought about that way. Yeah, our energetic spirit is so important. Exactly. No, it's different because don't forget, impurity is not sin. There's different. Impurity is not sin. Or misdeeds, right? Karma is not sin, but our sins can punish us through karma. That's the idea. So, and often it doesn't often happen within a single lifetime, right? Okay, let's see. So you guys wanted to hear some of this? So I have it separated. It's like a much bigger task than I thought it would be. But I'll go ahead and read it before we start. Yeah. So I've mapped it out. I'm going to start with the introduction, Shinto beyond the surface. So I define it, defining Shinto nature, purity, and presence of kami. Then I go the difference between public and esoteric practices. And I have a call to re-examine what Shinto was before it became systemized. I have warnings against modern misunderstandings and misappropriations. So, chapter one, I go over, and this is all subject to change, right? Chapter one, animistic beginnings and the spirit of the land. We explore the worldview of the Jomon period, where mountains, rivers, trees, and stones were seen as imbued with life. Yodishiro, spirit, receptive objects, and natural phenomenon were venerated as vessels of kami. So this chapter is going to investigate like pre-shrine spirituality rooted in intimate communion with the land and ancestral practice of spiritual communication through trance and intuition. Chapter 2, I talk about Kotodama and the power of spoken word. And that Kotodama words have spiritual power. So in this chapter, I kind of talk about how language, when used ritually, can invoke, bind, or purify energies. So obviously, since you guys are here, you need to know that Kotodama isn't just metaphorical, right? So I'm doing it every day when we do the healings, but it's foundational in shaping reality and healing, right? So It's like oral incantations and how they were encoded and passed through lineages. So chapter 3 I have is purity and pollution. Origins, we're talking about Hadai and the origins of ritual purification and the ancient Japanese understanding of spiritual impurity or kegare. Um, there's four major forms of Hadai to purify traditionally, right? And the tools were salt, water, fire, and breath. Those were used to clear energy and space. And I'm going to talk about how early practitioners diagnosed and expelled spiritual parasites and how they set the foundation for esoteric rites. You guys excited yet? Is this your writings? No, no, I'm doing a book for everyone's practice. This has nothing. You've been to this before, right, Kimmy? Okay, so chapter 4 is about Musubi and the energetic web. So Musubi is like connection. So Musubi is the unseen connective force that binds beings, places, and intentions. So in chapter 4, I kind of talk about the meaning of spiritual entanglement, energetic contracts, and karmic ties, from death to birth, marriage, and fate. So Musubi governs how kami and humans interweave too, right? And it's the esoteric understanding reveals how Musubi can both heal and also bind, right? So chapter 5, I have to discuss this, kami and the state, and this is the codification of spirit, and it's basically the political hijacking of Shinto during the Yamato period. This is when the Kojiki and Nihonshiki codified kami into genealogical heresies to legitimize imperial rule. And this chapter kind of, I'm talking about how folk kami were overridden or redefined, and how ritual knowledge was centralized and basically marginalized local esoteric practices. Although I must say, as far as the royal family in Japan, does seem to be something there, lineage wise, but it skips people, right? You know, born in spirit. It's not a physical lineage, and it's certainly not all of them. I think, yeah. Anyway, next part. I'll break that down in the chapter. Never heard. Remember, mommy goes, this song way too complex. They're not complex. I mean, it is complex. I mean, it is, but it isn't. This is just honestly really basic stuff. So in chapter 7, I talk about Taoist currents and the hidden body, and how the integration of Taoist metaphysics into Shinto practices, especially in concepts of energy flow, internal alchemy, and the void. Like we're going to do, I talk about some breathing techniques and visualization here, and and how body awareness were used in purification and invocation rites. And it basically merged Chinese subtle body maps with native kami lore, right? Okay, so chapter 8, I talk about esoteric Buddhism and kami fusion. So this chapter, I'm going to talk about the blending of esoteric Buddhism, particularly Shingon and Tendai, with Shinto through Shugendo practice. And it's mountain rituals, mandalas, and mantras were merged with local kami veneration, which resulted in some hybrid deities and hidden spiritual heresies. All right, chapter 9. So from here is one of my favorite parts. Chapter 9, it goes with medieval orders and hidden shrines. Basically, Yoshida Shinto movement and the rise of hereditary ritualists who guarded secret doctrines and initiated new forms of kami veneration. I'm going to talk about some of the coded documents, secret names, and spiritual transmission outside the public eye. Yeah, in Japan, like many people in Japan just think it's like fearing nature and veneration of nature, and that's it. But as we know, it's more. Um, so shrines here became more than just places. They were like living maps of esoteric order. So chapter 10, I talk about the Meiji Reformation and the cleansing of spirit. Basically, the Meiji government systemized and sterilized Shinto to serve nationalism. In this chapter, I talk about how the esoteric practices, divination, and mediumship were basically outlawed and ridiculed, which drove authentic spiritual traditions underground. And basically, the kami were rebranded as national symbols and stripped of their nuance and force. So chapter 11, I talk about survival and silence. This has to do with the post-war to present day. So despite suppression, esoteric Shinto survived in rural in caves and within secretive lineages. And in this chapter, I'm going to talk about how we trace modern encounters with this chapter traces modern encounters with hidden practitioners, the quiet endurance of purification rituals, as we know. This is a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. And the tension between genuine revival and new age appropriation. Yes. Reiki much? Oral memory becomes the last bastion of truth. So oral memory becomes the last bastion of truth, right? So chapter 12, I talk about the dangers of misuse and the energetic cost. Why did ancient spiritual practitioners train for decades? This chapter, I'm going to explain the dangers of invoking energies without proper understanding, explore the reality of spiritual parasites, cords, the second death, and soul fragmentation. And I'm comparing these dangers with modern Reiki, among other things, and hallucinogens, and explain why true healing requires reverence and knowledge. Chapter 13, I talk about the kami not being symbols. They respond, right? This chapter confronts the misconception that kami are metaphors or archetypes through like different real accounts through history, maybe, and subtle examples. I'm going to try to make the case that how the kami engage with those who honor them and perhaps punish with those who don't. Right? There's all kinds. There's countless. Purification, right? What we're doing, it has physical effects, and spiritual experiences have real world consequences, right? And 14, esoteric practices, living dialogue. And I'm talking about how the end is a return to the personal path, how modern seekers can listen again. And this chapter will provide tools for reawakening sensitivity, intuition, and relationship with spirit. It's not about reviving rituals for show, but remembering the sacred rhythm and participating participating with it with humility. So yeah, so that's what I have planned so far, subject to change. What do you think, guys? I know it's time to do the actual. And kind of have a bunch of notes in each section of stuff I want to go over. So there's going to be more. So I'm going to talk about modern kanagi and spontaneous spirit mediums. So this is all stuff happening now. It's been seen and done. So I want really people to understand that like the stuff I talk about, it's like not me just making it up. It's all been done before. It's all been witnessed. It's all been dealt with. And history doesn't repeat itself, but it certainly does rhyme. I just don't, I think I need this book yesterday. I mean, it's like, I, it's like, unfortunately, my friend who decided to convert basically had a spontaneous, spontaneous, spontaneous. She basically became a spontaneous medium. She thinks that because she converted, like spirits closer to her now that she can hear, but really it's an attachment who um, who convinced her that it's Jesus, and now she thinks that it's a long story. Of course. All right. Any new people tonight who have never done the healings before? Any new folks? No one new? Dang, I need to hire like a PR company to get. Is anyone a PR specialist? No one? Yes, I'll work on your lower abdomen. So this is going to be the first book. The second one is going to be more ritual, right? And the third one, like this, that's more informational, is going to be the really far out stuff, I think. I think enough people will, I guess, we'll see. But that one I might sell as like a $200-300 grimoire and have like a limited 200-300 copies because that's how those sell. You know, only people that are really have a high level of perception can really benefit from those. The public relations would probably tell you to stop doing stuff on camera. What's that supposed to mean? When I wasn't doing stuff on camera, that's when no one came. No, I don't want anyone to. I don't want anyone to be um, to feel like I'm taking advantage of them or anything like that. If I ever get to the point where I could pay people, then we'll see. But um, um, but until then, yeah. Who's different? I'm different. We're about to start. I spent too much time reading that. I'm glad you guys are excited for that book. It's really important for me to have stuff in there that really no one's really talked about in modern English. It's not scoffing. It's just um, and it's definitely not targeted because no one sees you. I mean, they see your name and screen name, but no one's judging anyone because you're not standing in front of them. So if they were, that's their problem, right? It's really silly to get into it with people on the internet. Although I just did arguing about Reiki with someone on Facebook. I mean, not on video. You're you're not standing in front of them. Is everyone ready? No new people, right? You know, Melanie, I think about that. How do I know what? I'm not the only one with a channel. What do you mean? Do you have a channel? Oh, I thought she meant YouTube channel. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm not channeling. So, and I have and what did I just read? I have a chapter called um, about spontaneous channelers, right? And what that is. I highly advise not to channel. I mean, you could decide if it's dangerous or not. I just talk about it. I mean, I just lay out the facts. So it's up to the person to decide. Like I had the person that was arguing with me in Facebook was arguing with me that Reiki means a source energy. You know, I go, that's not what it means in Japanese. Yes, it is. I mean, they don't want to hear any of it. So, thank you, Shelley. That's really kind. Are you guys ready? Or I've been talking too much. But we're probably going to do a couple of healings tonight. So I'll make up for the talking. Thank you for sticking around and listening to me. That's not true, Kimmy. I laid out all the chapters in my book, Jimmy, and everyone seems to be super interested. What do you mean that is not my truth? That is not your truth? I mean, it's a truth. I mean, there's historical context, right? And many cult leaders who are quite talented, they many of them channel, they create chords, and they never last. Not only do they never last, they almost always collapse in a very spectacular fashion. Channeling absolutely has the potential to make persons sick or worse. It depends. But what is it good for? The only thing I've ever heard any channelers talk about is stuff that we could read in Carl Sagan or Napoleon Hill book. I mean, they're repeating the same stuff. I mean, how's that helpful? They don't talk about removing impurities. You know, I would think it'd be more helpful if they did and pushed that into the public consciousness and methods in dealing with it, but they don't even mention it. Because if people were taught to look inward and pull stuff out, it would mean pulling the channeled entity out too, and whatever it's putting in. Exactly. All right, guys, you ready? I don't know. I think it's weird how people come in here and think that they know better than I do. I'm not being egotistical, but I'm very studied and I've been practicing a long, long time to get to this point. And a lot of experiences that I don't even talk about. There you go. You guys ready? Okay, so let me give you an example. Lots of people are channeling ETs, right? All right. They do it, they do these shows, but really it's an operation, right? The idea for it is to take over our bodies. As they attune to those energies, people risk giving their sovereignty up and being kicked out. So I highly advise against it. Not that they're evil, right? They're just trying to get back what they once lost. It's a military operation, not ours, an otherworldly one. So that's why it's harmful. And that's just one of the things. All right, here we go. You guys ready? Okay. Amaterasu mi oyano kami no. Yes, they are, because a deity or when the kami will not do that. The the spirit doing this type of purification work and other stuff similar with this scale and this potency aren't going to sit on a stage for 30 minutes and answer audience questions. Here we go. Mi o ya no kami no. Especially when a lot of the answers are already in books. Mi su maru no inochi terashi kuni shizuka nari Amaterasu mi oyano kami no misu maru no inochi terashi kuni shizuka nari tsukiyo mitsu mi oyano kami no ikke no omo tsuki ni tsurite kagami no kotoshi tsukiyo mitsu mi oyano の一形の思月に綴りて鏡のことし月よみつみ親の神の一形の思月に綴りて鏡のことし高天張にかむずまります。かむろぎ、かむろみのみこともして、すめみ、おやかむ、いずなぎの神つくしのひまかの立ち花のおどの青木がはるに、急ぎ、払い、たまいし、時にありまする。払いどの狼たち、もろもろの間がごとつびかげるよ。払いたまえ、極めたまえと、まあ、すことのよしよ。あまつかみ、急につかみ、やよりぞの神たちともに引っ越しますと。かしこみ、かしこみ、もます。高天張りにかむずまります。かむろぎ、かむろみのみこともして、すめみ、おやかむ、いずなぎの神つくしのひむくの立ち花のおどの青ぎかはらに、急ぎ、払い、たまいし、時にありませる。払いどの狼たち、もろもろの間がごと罪がいるよ。払いたまえ、清めたまえと申すことのよしよ。あまつかみ、きにつかみ、やお、よりずの神たちともに引っ越しますと。かしこみ、かしこみ、もまうす。どうすの神、あま手出します。すみみ神の身胸を伝えて、教え導きの玉枠。人はすなわち、神と神とのもとの主であり、何時らの真摯の痛ましむることなかれ。この家に目に、もろもろの風情見て、心にもろもろの風情見ず、耳にもろもろの風情聞きて、心にもろもろの風情聞かず、口にもろもろの風情言って、心にもろもろの風情言わず、身にもろもろの風情に触れて、心にもろもろの風情に触れず、心にもろもろの風情をもとも、中心にもろもろの風情を思わず、この時に清く潔きことあり、もろもろののれは鍵と形のことし、清く清ければ聞かれることなし、ことをとらばうべからず、皆花よりその身となる。我が身はすなわち六根処女なり、六根処女なるがゆえに、ごぞの真君兄なり、ごぞの真君兄なるが、ゆえに天地の神と男なり、天地の神と男なるが、ゆえに万物の霊と体なり、万物の霊と体なりが、ゆえになすところにこって成就せずということなし、無常霊法、真珠仏教、天上無休、名誉二章、金が列、払いたまえ、清めたまえ、守りたまえ、先はいたまえ、照らしたまえ、導きたまえ。高めの肌にかむずまります。すめ神たち、いやわらしたも、特殊の水の宝持ちて、あまてる国てるひけあめのほあかり、口たま、ねぎややひのみことに、 静けたもこと教えておたまわく、今しこの水の宝持ちで、中津国に天下り、会う人ぐそ沈め、収めよ。会う人ぐそ及び、やりずの者の山のことあらば、神宝持ちで、見下いた沈めに浮きたい。見たま沈めの祭りを、まして水の宝を振るべ。その神ほぎの子供に曰く、木の木のと、火の火のと、土の土の、かのかのと、水の水のと、ひふみよ、いむなやこと。二のと古べいらずいら、かし立てまつることのよしをもつて、平きく気がしますと。命長く、子孫羽、時はかきわに、守りたまい、先はいたまい、かじ立てまつり、鎮痛寿命心力かじ。Breathe, relax, と神、へみたも、看言心、損にかんだけん、払いたまい、清めたも。高天はりにかむずまります。かむろき、かむろみのみこともして、すめみ、ほえかむ、いずなぎの、かみつくしの、ひまけの、たちばねの、ほごの、あおぎかはれに、みそぎ、はらい、たまいし、ときに、はれませる。はらいどの、おかみたち、もろもろのめが、ことつみかいりょ。はらいたまいきをめたまいどま、ことのよしよ。あまつか、くにつか。や夜図の神たちともに引っ越しますと。かしこみかしこみもます。高天はりにかむずまります。かむろみのみこともして、すめみ、ほえかむ、いざなぎの神つくしのひまかの立ちばねのほどのあぎかはるに、いそぎ、はらい、たまいし、ときに、ありませる。はらいどの狼たち、もろもろの中ことすみかいり。 腹痛ま息を満たれた。回すことのよしよ。あまち神。国にち神。よ。よりずの神たちともに一個しますと。かしこみかしこみも。マウス。うん。breathe, relax. と神。意味とも。看護心。そうにかだけに。腹痛ま息を見たも。How was it, everyone? かんながらたまちやませ。かんながらたまちやませ。かんながらたまちやませ。Yeah, I'm going to have the translations. Absolutely. Your old ancestors, yeah, yeah, such it is. You're welcome, Kelsey. Thank you for saying that. And how are you, Constance? Jen? Hmm. Pretty deep. I had a weird vision then. Hmm. How's that, guys? The vision didn't make any sense right now, so good, Constance. We just keep working at it. Any new people never done this before tonight? Oh my gosh. Sleepy now. I am sleepy, I think. Thank you, Kimmy. Ever since you were 5? Cool. We work on that here. Just give it time. Like these books will help. I hope this first one's not too ambitious. I don't want to be writing it for a long time, although I probably am going to. Just because I have to have my precious references. Mm. Oh, so no new people, huh? Not one new person's trickled in. All repeating. Meeting's moving about swiftly. Good. Anyone else? Oh, oh. Reference? No, no. It's all going to be time consuming. PM me. You're welcome, Constance. How about my ear people? People with a painful ear. How are you? Thank you. Thank you, guys. Sleep is taking over. Yep, me too. Okay, Jade, let's work on it. I'm going to do a little bit more, guys. So go ahead and relax. Telekami, Amy Tamo, Kangonshin, Sony Kandaken, Harai Tamai Kiyome Tamo. Hey, thank you, Edwards. So yeah, everybody, I do Cash App, I do Venmo, I do PayPal, I have an Amazon wish list. It's not required, but you feel so obliged to, consider donating. This is my only job. Here we go. Tokami, Hemi Tamo, Kangonshin, Sony Kandaken, Harai Tabai Hiawe Tabo. Kanagara tamachiyamase. Kanagara tamachiyamase. Kanagara tamachiyamase. All right, everyone, there you have it. Again, how was that, Jade? That's specific for someone, however, it got to everyone, right? Is everyone okay? Jade? All right. Good, Jade. Let me know if it starts up again. Where did I travel this time? I'm just a little sleepy, guys. I had a lot to do today. I know Kitty's calling. I hear you, Shelley. I'm here twice a day. I'm not twice a day. I was here earlier today, actually. But no, I'm here at night. And this does build over time. It does help. Oh my gosh, did I just get tired? Anyone else? Any new people, first experiencers? Any of those folks? Thank you again, Willifan. And who donated today? Willifan and Ishildina Zizi, right? Thank you for your PayPal and Cash App. This is my only job now, so anything helps, even a couple bucks. It really does. If everyone every night would do like $1 or $2, that'd be a ton. But it's okay. It's not necessary. These are always going to be done like this. Oh. All right, everyone. I'm going to take off now. Good night.